Someone wrote in and said, let's be honest. If you're struggling in the dating game, man or woman, most likely you are probably ugly and poor. I'm here with Reid from readaboutsex.com.
I'm here with Cathy from the intimacydojo.com.
And I have a lot of issues with that statement.
Why?
There are some people that are struggling dating that are less attractive conventionally and may not have money, but I know a lot of people that are very conventionally beautiful and have money, or one or the other, and
high-end dating services
yeah.
could only exist if there was a need for them.
Yeah, and I think that there is a belief out there that if you're not getting a relationship, I remember going home for holidays, and the aunts or cousins were like, "So who are you dating?" "Oh, you're not." "Oh, sweetie," like that kind of like. Mm-hmm. You failed somehow or you're inadequate, and that's hard on people. And when we continue with that belief, we just kind of box people in a corner, because if there are some people that are out there that are less conventionally attractive and don't have money and have tons of dates, mm-hmm. and when we start putting people in boxes, it's not helpful.
Yeah, it's again, I love these questions. Thank you for even the mean ones, right? Not that this one's particularly mean. That we get some shitty comments, but welcome to the internet. I think what's really interesting is being able to play detective with your own opinions, and as somebody who walks in a lot of different societies, alternative cultures and things like that. I've gotten to have dating conversations and done some coaching with people who were extremely attractive, like model, like supermodel kind of stuff, and what their challenges are and problems are. I've gotten to hang out with and geek out with around relationships and dating, and even just hookup culture with porn stars and things like that. And then people of size and people with different, mobility challenges and things like that. Like at different ages and whatnot. And what you start to realize, and why the kind of advice that I try to give people is the kind of advice that I give, is like, oh, what's going on is people getting in their own way because of all these cultural beliefs. Now, I'm not saying that, if you are short, you will have a tougher time dunking a basketball. I'm not talking about certain things, and culturally speaking, there can be like cultural physics, right? But at the same time, like, I know some people that are not conventionally pretty, who in certain communities are highly valued for things that they do and loved for who they are. Now, we can talk about skill sets and things like that being a certain kind of social cachet, but part of what they're doing, they didn't get into whatever they're into because they're fat or short or ugly or old. They got into the thing that they're into because that's their jam. Yeah. And people in their jam are way more fun and interesting and attractive or charismatic. And so again, like, I have to say yes. I will use the basketball analogy. Short person has to work harder to jump higher to get the dunk, but there's just so much evidence that goes the other way. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's all hard work. I mean, you can be fucking a supermodel and still have a shitty relationship.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that don't know the skills and how to communicate with each other or approach each other. That's one of the reasons we do this.
Yeah.
Is so hopefully there's less lonely people out there, and there's doorways for people to find ways to connect.
Yeah. And then, so again, like, I try to be aware of, whenever I make declarations about whole swaths of people, I'm always looking at, like, well, what does that mean about me? Like, where did that thought come from? And how's that thought holding me back?
Yeah. Yeah. So we just invite you to question that declaration and that belief, and start looking at people as people. Mm-hmm. Because I know I've coached a lot of people too, where they're like, I can't find anyone. There's no one out there. And I'm like, what are you looking for? Oh, 22, size 2 model. They're looking for a model. And I'm like, well, there's fewer of those people around. Have you tried to look for a nice human being? And I mean, we just get to sometimes we limit ourselves by not seeing the people around us that are pretty amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. So much to talk about. And how you hold yourself back. How do other people hold themselves back? How does culture hold us back? And if you knew you could not fail, or that you could handle the failure that you would have to go through to get to where you want to be, what would you actually start asking for?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm really curious. Please leave comments below. What do you think?